Okay, are you interested about the YouTube channels I watch? And I have selected within all the knitting channels that I am following and I am watching while I knit. I've selected 5. It was a very hard selection. 5 YouTube channels from yarn stores or people who sell yarn that I follow, that I watch, and that I enjoy. So hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my very small place on the internet where I talk about everything related to my knitting life, my knitting adventures, and I have several series on my YouTube channel. My name is Isabelle, I am in France, in Normandy, and believe me or not, 5 minutes ago, maybe not 5 minutes, 20 minutes ago, by the time I set up my recording gear, we had bright sun, very cold. I had my hat and I have my Saturday shrug, and I went to see colleagues for lunch, and it was very cold. And within 5 minutes, it all went from a cold, very sunny day, the one sunny day we've had for maybe the last week, to heavy wind. We just had hail. I had to pause recording because we had hail and it was very loud. Heavy rain, and they are forecasting snow for tomorrow morning. We just had a warning on the telephone from the state, from the area, what we call department, but this is the area, the administrative area. We just had a notification for a snowstorm tomorrow morning. Anyway, what kind of weather are we in? So I'm in Normandy. Usually Normandy is mild. It's rainy, it's grey, but mild. And today it's gonna be a special video, one I wanted to record before I went to the hospital. In the end, I had no time to record that video, and then I talked about it, and several of you said, "Oh yes, please, we would be interested into the channels, the YouTube channels you are watching." I'm not gonna do a whole series on that. I selected 5 channels in the same kind of idea of my 5 favorite books that one of you suggested I talk about. 5 channels from yarn stores. And as a disclaimer, I am on a no-buy or low-buy year with regulations, so that I'm on a no online buying. So all of these stores are in the United States, so I won't be buying from them. But if you are easily triggered by people talking about yarn and hauls and yarn offering, of course it's their job. Their job is to sell the yarn that they provide because they believe it's the best one and they like it and it fits their own aesthetics and everything. So, and the public in the area or online that buys their yarn allows them to survive and work. So if you are triggered by people talking about yarn, if you don't want to be triggered by something that you're trying to work yourself away from overbuying or overspending, please watch another of my videos, because that's their job. They are selling yarn and their YouTube channel is here to talk about their yarn. But, and you know I don't like a but these channels also talk about their knitting life. And this is why I enjoy watching them, because they talk about their own project and they have some kind of the same structure as everybody has. what am I wearing, what am I working on, what are my projects, what are my finished projects, my finished objects, and what I want to be casting on next, what I have seen, and etc. So usually these channels have several people talking together, and it creates some kind of a dynamic that I like a lot. It's of course, says the one who's talking to you, but the reality is I'm in my home. I'm talking to my phone, so But it creates some kind of a dynamic, and these people are very funny. This is why I like them, because one, even if my aesthetics is not quite theirs, or the colors that they like are not really the colors that I like, or the pattern that they suggest, sometimes I find good ideas from them, sometimes not. But what I like a lot is that they are funny. They talk about their own life, either at the beginning of the video, or at the beginning of the video, the beginning is here for you, or at the end of the video. But they talk about themselves, about their life, about the life of their store, of their community, their area, what's going on, and I really do enjoy that. And of course, they talk about their store. So, if you are interested into that, into this subject, please grab something to eat, to drink, please grab your knitting, and please stay tuned. Okay, and first, what am I wearing? I am wearing my Saturday Shrug by Jackie Rose. I knit that in 2023, I think. At the same time, I knit the softy hat I was wearing. So I was wearing both this morning when I went to see my colleagues and have lunch with them after that. And it was very cold. So I was wearing the hat, and of course, my hair is all flat because I was wearing a hat. And both of them I made with mohair from Poitou, from Ferme de France. And it's the bigger gauge mohair. It's not the silk lace. It's silk mohair, but it's not the lace weight. I think it would qualify at least as worsted, I think. I'm not sure I recall which kind of needles I use. It's in my project. But anyway, this mohair is really warm. And these were I made them with the leftovers from my Agnes jumper by Camille Avad that I knit just before that. And I'm wearing that on a very, very old dress. Anyway, so that's what I am wearing. So we went from a very cold and sunny day to a cold and humid day. And as we say in Normandy, and as one of you commented already, in Normandy it's the same as in your place. There is a saying in Normandy that says, in Normandy, we have nice weather several times a day. So, okay, 5 yarn stores who have a YouTube channel. And I'm not going to be talking about them without any order, because these are just channels that I enjoy watching while I am knitting. I'm going to be trying to be knitting too. And the first one, and there is no particular order, it's the order I kind of wrote them down as I was watching videos from them in the last few weeks. So the first one is Must Love Yarn. Must Love Yarn is with Jen and Angela, and they are in Vermont. And when I was talking about people talking about their own personal life and their store life, I was particularly thinking about them. So they talk about their own life, and then they cut that segment and they add it back at the end of the video. So if you are just interested into the yarn news and the store news and everything, you just can not watch their own life segment. And I have to say, I do enjoy when they talk about their own life. They are very funny, and in general, with these people who share what's happening in their life at the same time that they share what's happening in their own stores and what they have been stocking on and stuff like that, what they have seen, the patterns they have seen, and what they have selected for their customers, for example. What I really like is that they talk about their own personal life, and from episode to episode, from video to video, you see their own life evolve, and then you are kind of participating to their own life, what happens to their children when they still have children at home, or to their children when they are away from home, and you have news about their own life. Like, you start to know the people into their life and what happens to them and the little stories about that. Some of them takes you with them when they have some kind of travel, when they travel abroad or have some kind of other opportunities to travel. And they also have a recap, most of them, when they attend some of the big, yarn and woolly festivals that there is in the northwest of the United States, because I think most of them are in the northwest of the United States. Must Love Yarn is in Vermont, and I very much like their humor. And what they talk about is, it's really enjoyable. They are two very nice people, very nice in their heart and very honest. And I think that's something common among all of the channels, all of these channels that I watch. They are very honest. They are talking their heart out. They are talking with their heart. Of course, they have a store. Of course, they sell yarn. Of course, they are showing you the yarn that arrived in their store and why they chose it and everything. But also, they are very kind and honest people. And I think in our world that is completely bombarded by artificial intelligence, by fake news, by fake everything, having such honest person in front of you is really refreshing and is really good for your mind, or at least my mind. And in addition to that, they have a good sense of humor. And, they sometimes also have a very dry sense of humor, and I enjoy that very much. These people, so it's for Must Love Yarn, it's true, but it's true for all of them. And I will link all of the channels down below. They are very productive. Some of them have other jobs besides the yarn store, and they are very productive. They do knit, and they talk about the difficulties, and they talk about the successes, and they talk about what was really nice in one of their projects, the temperature blankets and stuff like that. How it's going, how the colors are playing, because it's how the temperature is evolving, and how do you pick your temperature, which day, which hour, when do you choose the color for a day, when it's cold in the morning and when it's warm in the afternoon. All of these things that could be, minor things, but they do make the video and hearing what they are saying very enjoyable. So the first one, Must Love Yarn. I will also see if I can place, I may have already placed that, because I wanted to do this, but I forgot to say it. I will try to see if I can place somewhere some kind of a screenshot of the YouTube thumbnail, if I can place them somewhere on the screen, and I will link all of the channels down below. Okay, next, Chronicles of Yarnia. They are in New Jersey, and there are 3 of them. Kathleen, I think, who owns the store. Jen and Amanda. And Amanda is publishing patterns, I think. What I forgotten to say, because of course I had written that somewhere and I forgot to read it. Most of them publish patterns on Ravelry. Some of them are free, some of them are not. But I think Amanda publishes pattern on Ravelry. And once again, Chronicle of Yarnia, they are so funny. And you follow their family adventures, you follow their yarn adventures, you follow they went to Rhinebeck and they had a Rhinebeck recap. Amanda brought her youngest son, I think her husband too, and maybe the other ones, maybe they did bring some other of their families or friends or something like that. And they make some kind of a recap of what happened for them in Rhinebeck. And most of the time they talk about their life and all of their knitting and all of what they are working on. What I like a lot about Chronicles of Yarnia is that I've said it, they are so funny. You see that there is some kind of chemistry between them. Catherine was in UK, in England, Scotland, and she had the latest video is from her trip there and the stores she's visited and what she brought back and everything. And there is some kind of chemistry between them. You see that they know each other very well, that they do appreciate each other very well. And also, they introduced me to some new kind of yarn that I may never work with, but they are really good at talking about the yarn they provide. So I could say that of all of the channels. But what I like very much is the way they interact, the way they choose very different projects. They have very different tastes, and out of the same yarn, how can they work so different projects? And once again, very positive people. I'm sure not is all positive into their own life. It's impossible. But they do make it very enjoyable to watch. They are very enjoyable to watch. They are very enjoyable to listen to. They can give you, once again, nice project ideas, what they have been working on and all of their daydreaming projects. They are very productive. There are 3 of them, so they are 3 times as productive as a single person can be. And they do offer some yarn that I had never heard of before. Same for Must Love Yarn. And of course, I may never buy any of that. I may never knit with any of their yarn. But that gives a lot of ideas and the way they associate the colors, even if I'm not much into the same color realm as Catherine is, for example. But the way they do associate the colors, they do a lot of ferrule too, and it's very interesting. And the way they choose the patterns, how they adjust the patterns for themselves, it's very informative. Once again, very positive videos and very positive people. And as I'm talking to you, the sun is coming back. So maybe the storm won't come back before tomorrow. I kind of doubt it. Okay, next is the Wooly Thistle. The Wooly Thistle was first an online store, online only, and it's run by Corinne, who is originally from Scotland, and they do specialize into rustic wool, and I do love their videos for that and their channel for that. And some of the associates or their colleagues are not in the location, so they are in New Hampshire And some of them are living in other states and they are working online, they are remote working. And recently they opened a brick and mortar store, and they now have a real physical store where before they only had an online store. And so I like very much their take on natural rustic wool, and of course local to them. It's not no local to me or local from the UK, because Corinne is from Scotland, I think I said. And it's their specialty. They specialize into Jamieson and Smith and all of these kind of wool. They do a lot of Fair Isle with a lot of tiny tiny yarn knit on tiny needles on toothpicks, and they do make very impressive projects. And Corinne has several patterns of her own, and there is a connection with all the creators from UK who are doing Fair Isle and stuff like that, and it's really interesting. Some of their colleagues or the associates who are working from other states, they do come to the channel, they record from their own location, they record a segment that is included into the channel, and they usually talk about specific things. So they also do a lot of Fair Isle and color work and stuff like that. So they talk about that a lot. Sometimes they talk about technical issues and how they solve them. And also lots of advices, lots of way to use their own yarn, lots of way to substitute, how the pattern recommends this or that yarn and what yarn they used instead of that one and why, and how they made it work and how they did some sticking, because I am very afraid of sticking. So when people talk about sticking, I always have an ear for that, because I'm very afraid of sticking and everything. So all of that, they talk about the yarn from Northern Europe, Plotulopi, so all of the Outtakes lines and everything. So they talk to me in terms of yarn they are using, not sometimes in terms of colors, but the type of yarn they are using, and I'm just amazed about all the Fair Isle and the color work pattern they are doing. Some of them are extremely impressive, and they have always good advices, good tips on using this or that, good ideas on using this or that, good patterns ideas, and I do like them for that. And of course, the same very positive feeling, and they don't talk about, bad things. They don't talk about other people. None of them. All of that in very good spirit, and it's a very happy channel, like all the other ones too. It's a good time and a good moment I spend with them when I am knitting and when they drop a video. And I have not said that, but that could be true of all of the channels. All of these 5 I'm talking about today, when they drop a video, I place them in a special playlist, because usually it's not at the moment I can watch a video, or when I see it I don't have time to watch a video at this specific moment. And I do place them in a specific playlist so that I can watch them after that. So, every time they drop a video, I watch it. Okay, next, the Knitting Place. The Knitting Place is, I think, the first YouTube channel from a yarn store that I've been watching. I've been following them and watching them for a very, very long time. And so it's Dana and Pam, and they are in Long Island, New York. And once again, they are so nice talking about their own life. You see their own life evolve in front of your eyes. You have news from the family, from the trips, from the good things, from the bad things sometimes. You know about the children, the grandchildren, the dogs, the pets, and everything, the travels, the places they go to. And I really like when they do that, the way. So they open their video talking about what's happened in the last week. They drop a video every week and what they have been knitting on, how their weekend was, and then they move into, the regular, what I am wearing, what I'm working on, what I have finished. And Dana is a test knitter, usually for Natasha Hornby, and I think I discovered them when I first was interested into Natasha Hornby that I found through Instagram. I think that's the connection. And they are very productive and prolific knitters. They knit very beautiful things that talk to me in terms of the colors, so not much into the pinks or stuff like that, but the colors they use. For example, my Yara, I took the color idea from the one that Dana knit. I'm not sure she tested it. She tested it for Natasha Hornby or she knit it after it was released. But the colors she chose were the ones that stuck with me for over a year, maybe two, from the moment I bought the yarn and to the moment I cast it on and I knit it. So you see, I've been following them for a long time. I like very much the very positive and soothing spirit that they put into their videos. And also, even if they are very sensitive to what's happening in the world and because they are concerned on the first place, they keep it very, very positive and they are very bright persons, as the other ones, of course, as the other ones. And I really enjoy the time I spend with them. Also, they have some lines that they carry on, and in particular, the cocoon yarn. I've knit a shawl with that yarn, and it's a beautiful yarn. And this is my way to see what's happening in this world, in the cocoon world, for example. All the colors they drop, the new lines they drop, and everything, even though I'm not going to buy any and I'm not really tempted to buy any. But I just like to know what's happening and the different patterns they choose to associate the yarn with. And once again, how they substitute for some other yarn and why they substitute it that way and everything. So it's a very informative YouTube channel. Also, they promote, and I forgot to say that about the Wooly Thistle, they do that too. They promote some of the projects that their customers have done with their own yarn, and I also think it is very helpful because you see what real people have knit with another yarn from the one recommended by the pattern or the same yarn in other colors and stuff like that. And I think it is very helpful. And it is very nice for a yarn store to promote what their customers have done. The Wooly Thistle, I forgot to say, even can have their own customers record a small segment and include that in their own video. The Knitting Place doesn't do that, but they take pictures and they even show the pieces that their customers have knit, and they just left it with them for them to show that on the video. And it's a really good way to see how other people have interpreted the pattern, because when you have pictures on Ravelry, even if you have pictures of a person wearing the piece, it doesn't show you how the piece moves, how the colors play together in that particular knitted piece, in that particular sweater or shawl or things like that. and how it does evolve on a body, on a real body. And in this era where everything is, or we kind of fear everything gets ruled by artificial intelligence, having real people talk about real yarn, real project, real projects that other people have need, I think it's invaluable to me. And these are two really nice ladies. And as for all the other one, I will link their channel down below, and they don't need me, and they probably do not even know I'm existing, but they are really worth you following them and watching their videos. And then last but not least, the fifth one, the Skein Scoop podcast, or Skein Scoop Yarncast. I think some of them call them Yarncast, some of them call them podcast. I say YouTube videos, whatever. The Skein Scoop. It's the store that Laurie owns. I think she's the owner, and she works with Justine there. They are in East Greenwich in Rhode Island. Once again, a very, very funny pair. They do know each other very well, I think, and they are extremely funny. I do also like when they talk about their own life and what's happening in their life, and you follow the evolution of their family, and it's really nice. It's really nice. Two people who are also very productive, very grounded. They talk about their own yarn. I've not discovered the Noro yarn that they talk about a lot, but I've seen so many different ones on their channel that I did not know even existed. And also they do knit very beautiful pieces. Not all of them would be some of the pieces I would knit myself. I do enjoy when they talk about it, when they talk about the difficulties they had and how they solved them, and why things worked and why things did not work. Of course, they went to Rhinebeck. I did not say the other persons from the other stores. Some of them also went to Rhinebeck and did some Rhinebeck recap that I really enjoy, and I usually do not watch much of these recaps or the yarn hauls because I don't want to be triggered. But from this person, it's their job. They sell the yarn. They are here to promote it. And I think they do that beautifully in a very funny way. And I really enjoyed their recap, and they are in a group of other YouTubers who from the eastern parts of the United States, where they all went together in places and things like that. And I thought their own perspective was very interesting when I also had the other one's perspective that they reported on their own channel. So I really enjoy them. They're refreshing, and I think I can say that of all of the channels I've been talking about. I've said already they are honest, real people, honest people, and they are very refreshing, very entertaining, very grounded, really honest, and you don't have to think twice about what they are saying. They are just saying honest things about what they think about the yarn. Of course, sometimes it's quite rare when they talk about a yarn they don't like or have problems with. It happens sometimes. And most of all, what I think I find within all of these YouTube channels is honest people, real people, their real work. They are all knitters, and what they think about the yarn, why they choose the yarn. They are very grounded, very down to earth, and also very funny. each one on their own way. They are very funny. It's an enjoyable time. They usually have videos that sometimes some of them last a bit longer, some of them are a bit shorter. But these 5 ones, when they drop a video, I save the video to watch it at a later time if I can't watch it on the spot, which is very rare. I usually select the videos I want to watch on my phone on the go. I place them in my special playlists. I have one for knitting. And then in the evening, when I'm ready to be knitting and going down, or for now also as I'm not working for now, during the day, this is what I watch when I am knitting. There are other channels who are not stores, who are not yarn stores, that I also watch, but these ones really bring me fresh air, fresh ideas that I can trust, people that I can trust, and it's very refreshing. I've said that already, but you know, in our world, when you can question everything that people say to you, they are really down to the ground and really true to themselves. They are not lying. They are not trying to sell you some bad soup. And it's really, yes, enjoyable and refreshing. Okay, there are strange noises outside. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, there you have it. The 5 YouTube channels from yarn stores that I enjoy watching, that I watch on a regular basis, and why I enjoy them. And all in all, I've said it all along, they are happy people and positive people, and I think they do bring joy and happiness into my life when they drop a video. They do bring positive feelings when I spend some time with them. And I do hope you manage to place joy and happiness into your life, and that your knitting is bringing you joy and happiness, because it's not coming all by itself, in particular in this very strange world we are living in. And when you are placing positive thoughts into your knitting, you are building your own inner joy and happiness. And it's really, really important that we keep on doing this. And if you can't do it for yourself, do it for the people. Send your little stitches to other people and just say 1 row, 1 stitch. 1 stitch can lead to 1 row. 1 row can lead to another row. And if you do place positive thoughts into your knitting while you are knitting, it will contribute to have at least a positive moment into your day. And it's very, very important, especially right now in the world we are living in, because sometimes all the outside events can be overwhelming and can be drowning us into negative thoughts and negative feelings. So yes, I hope they will bring you, or they are maybe already bringing you, as much joy and happiness as they are bringing me. I will link everybody down below. I thank you a lot for being here with me, and I will see you next time. 1, 2, 3. My hair is all flat because I was wearing my beanie. 4, 5. Top. And we went from a very cold. So what do you want to be doing? I'm very annoyed at my hair because it's clean from this morning and it's all flat because I was wearing my hat. Wow. So these are the leftovers from my It's not Esther, it's the other one. I don't want to check on Ravelry. It's not Esther, it's by Camille Avad. I have to check, I don't recall. I have to check, I don't recall. Agnes. And these were the leftovers from my Agnes jumper by Camille Avad. I think it's Camille Avad. By Camille Avad. Once again, a very couple of once again. I am repeating myself so much. I am repeating myself so much. How can I say different nice things about all of these channels when I'm thinking of them so positively and with the same kind of feelings? It's quite difficult. It's quite difficult.